And with that, we'll call the regular meeting of the Waukee City Council to order. Will everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Becky, we do roll call.
Mayor Clark.
Here.
Councilmember Anderson.
Here.
Councilmember Crone.
Here.
Councilmember Grove.
Here.
Councilmember Lyon.
Here.
Councilmember Pierce.
Here. Agenda item D is open forum. Open forum is the time for anyone here tonight to address the council and on the subject over which the council has the authority to act, or on any item on the agenda other than a public hearing item. Does anyone here tonight, either in the council chambers or on Zoom, wish to address the council at this time? If so, please approach the podium or raise your hand. If you're participating via Zoom, please click on the raise hand icon located in the reactions controls. And please remember that public comment is limited to 3 minutes.
We had an explosion.
Veronica, if you could state your name and address for the record, please.
Veronica Lack, and I'm a Soil and Water Conservation Commissioner. And I've been having trouble with our water quality since the explosion on 4/11 of 2024. That methane pipeline that runs through my backyard and the city right away has not been marked, and the contractors hit that pipeline just north of Hickman on along Alice's Road. Then we had no traffic going north at that time between Douglas and Hickman. But we need that pipeline marked because it blew our sewer lines. And that causes our water to be testing really high in E. coli, coliform bacteria, and also these PFAS and plastic particles from digesting plastic. I installed a $10,000 whole house water filter system that helps, but my inspection by my plumbing contractors that have my maintenance contract notes still I have no backflow valves. And the sewer from the sewer black slime clogs my sump pumps. And so both Reiner's Plumbing and Bell Brothers Plumbing have been, over the last year and about a half, coming and pumping out the sludge. The blue-green algae, when we dumped, what do you call them, retention ponds. And I still need that backflow valves. But the water test results are my most concern. Yes. Our University of Iowa Hygienic Lab tests for the E. coli bacteria and the coliform bacteria are especially concerning, since right now we have our hospitals pretty full, that even when a 12-year-old has a bacterial pneumonia, even, you're just told to take or go to the, not bring them into the doctor's office, just get a prescription filled. We cannot filter these PFAS chemicals out. There's 18 different herbicide and pesticide chemicals, even though we only list 4 on our chart that usually hand out from the Des Moines Water Works.
Veronica, you're at time tonight. If you'd like,
I need my.
I'd like for you to take a seat, and then we can always chat after the meeting.
Okay. But the main reason is I need a backflow valve right now.
Please take a seat.
I gave it
None of those topics are on the agenda tonight, and so I cannot address them in terms of at this time due to open meetings or public open meetings laws. However, if people have questions, they're always welcome to stay around afterwards, and we can always have a more direct conversation. Are there any other comments tonight for open forum?
There are no hands raised in Zoom.
Okay. I now declare open forum closed. Agenda item E is agenda approval. Can I get a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Please vote.
Councilmember Crone,
Yes.
Councilmember Grove,
Yes.
Councilmember Lyon,
Yes.
Councilmember Pierce,
Yes.
Councilmember Anderson.
Yes. Agenda item F1 is a presentation, independent auditor's final report for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2025. And we have Robert Indris from Denman and Company. Good evening, Robert.
Good evening. Thank you again. My name is Robert Endres. I'm a partner with Denman CPAs. Denman was engaged to perform the city's fiscal year 2025 audit. So we were on site back late summer, early fall, working through our audit procedures, and we do have that audit report to share with you this evening. As is our custom, instead of making you read that 75-page document here this evening, we're going to do this over a PowerPoint presentation, but hopefully you've had the privilege of taking a harder dive into that document. I do know it's a tough read, but there's a lot of good information in there. We'll try to make this relatively brief for you this evening. We will talk about that independent auditor's report, which leads off those audited financial statements. We'll take a quick dive into those financials. And we'll spend a little bit of time talking about internal controls and compliance. Beginning with that independent auditor's report, which I think you can find on page 5 of the audit report itself. Just a couple reminders there that these financial statements are management's financial statements. They're not Denman's financial statements. They're those of management. Management is responsible for ensuring that they're complete and accurate and that they conform with accounting standards and that controls are in place to support the accuracy of your financials. Our job as your auditors is to perform an audit and to express an opinion on whether or not those financials are accurate. And that includes a host of audit testing procedures so that we can gain that audit evidence so that we can express that opinion. And we are issuing what we call unmodified opinions on these financial statements, which is the highest level of assurance our profession provides regarding the accuracy of the financials we're about to look at. Taking a very, very brief look at those financials here, a quick snapshot of effectively the income statement for the city of Waukee year over year. Total revenues for the city in fiscal year 2025, $109 million compared to $127 million last year. So that decrease in revenue is entirely because of developer activity. As developments come on board, you recognize that as a contribution, those infrastructure assets, and there just was a whole lot in 2024. 2025 still had plenty, but not nearly to the scope 2024 had. So that's why you're seeing that decline in revenue. On expenditure side, total expenses for the fiscal year, $82.7 million compared to $73 million in the prior year, leaves you with a change in net position to the good of 20, we'll round it up, call it $27 million. That's a pretty big number. Bear in mind, a lot of that's infrastructure. So as you look at those numbers, remember, that's not cash the city's generating. That's really infrastructure assets, net position in total that the city is as the city grows, you're going to have more of those assets hitting the books. Quick look at fund balances of those governmental funds, those core funds that provide governmental services to the residents of the city. You can see those fund balances around there. Capital projects over in the far right-hand corner, $27.8 million. Swift into the other left-hand side, bottom left-hand corner of the general fund, that core fund of the city, $18.5 million. Add all that up, it's about $83 million in cash within those governmental funds. The one we care most about, not that the other ones are less important, but the general fund in particular is one where we pay close attention. It helps us evaluate the financial health of the city. One of the best ways to look at that is fund balance compared to annual expenditures. How many days cash do you have on hand within that general fund to meet those service requirements to the residents of the city? General rule of thumb is 90 to 180 days is considered a very healthy fund balance. And here you have the city's 5 or 6 year trend line comfortably over that 180. This is a very healthy fund balance for your general fund. After the financial statements, there's probably 20 or 30 pages of footnote disclosures, which are very dense to read. I'm just going to highlight 2 of the ones that I thought were most important and particularly important, so you can go back and look at them more carefully here. Note 5 related to long-term liabilities. The city is reporting $174 million in long-term liabilities in its governmental activities, another $42 million in its business-type activities. And then note 16, joint ventures. The city participated in the Central Iowa Water Works in fiscal year 2025. That's a pretty significant event, both for the region, the city as a whole, and there's some good disclosure there about what that meant for the city. Towards the back of the report, we do spend some time talking about internal controls and compliance. Denman is not performing an audit of your controls, but during the course of a financial statement audit, we do spend a fair bit of time gaining an understanding of your controls. As we gain that understanding, if we identify deficiencies or areas of concern, we have a responsibility to evaluate those, vet them, and elevate them to you if there's some items that we think warrant your attention. Along with that, we do have a requirement by the state to test certain compliance requirements. So we do a host of testing related to the Code of Iowa and other compliance requirements to see if the city is compliant with those compliance requirements. In the report, you will notice two small matters that did reach the report. One pertaining to inventory processes the city utilizes, the other related to budget. Both of these are very small recommendations, but they did meet the thresholds to warrant inclusion in the audit report and included here. You'll see some pretty robust disclosure as to what those were and management's response. Management has a very good plan of action related to both those items. Along with the audit report, we do have a 2 or 3 page letter that is included that is really meant for you as members of governance. This is our opportunity to talk about things that we really think warrant your attention. Sometimes I refer to this as my dirty laundry letter. If I have issues, concerns, complaints, you'll hear about it in this letter. As you read that document, you're going to notice it's a very boring letter, and that's the good type of governance letter. We don't like talking about exciting things in that letter. I don't have a whole lot of excitement here. But the most important things there, about halfway down, you'll see disagreements with management, issues or concern performing the audit, none of either. Staff have always been fantastic to work with. They are very prepared for us. They make our lives very easy, which is noteworthy because I know they can't say the same thing about us. We really mess up their routine for a couple weeks. So I do want to thank staff for that and appreciate that. And a special thank you to Linda, who's I'm not going to get to see and work with after this year as she works towards her retirement. It's been a privilege working with your team. That is everything I have for this evening. Can I answer any questions?
Thank you. Are there any questions for Robert?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. It is a very dense report, and so I always appreciate staff's time and effort in supporting that and your work as well. Okay. Item F2, consideration of approval of the independent auditor's final report for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2025. Can I get a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
Linda?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. And for the public's information, the audit report will be on the website tomorrow after it's been approved tonight. As Robert indicated, this is my last audit to present to you guys, so I thought it might be fun to look back. This was the 25th year that Denman had done our audit. So I went back to 2001 and pulled a couple statistics for you.
Oh, no.
It's all good. For the total assets for the city, so it breaks down in governmental unit, which is our general fund, road use tax, capital projects. We had $4.4 million in 2001. At the end of June, we had $488.7 million. For the enterprise funds, not quite as large of a change. Back in 2001, it was 17.6 million compared to 217 million at the end of June. Our revenues over that time period for government was $3.2 million that first year to $85 million this year. For the general fund, enterprise fund was 5.6 compared to 44.8, showing a lot of growth there. I could do the expenditures. It's about the same there. What I wanted to call out, though, is our valuations. So we use that 100% valuation number for multiple different calculations. Back in 2001, it was $227 million. Today, we're at $4.9 billion. So that's a huge increase. Our legal debt then is calculated off of that number. So back in 2001, we had $7.9 million of debt. Today, we have $157.9 million. Sounds like a lot, but if I looked at the percentage, which is that calculation we do, in 2001, it was 70%, and today we're 64%. So staying in line there. The property tax rate in 2001 was $13.50 per thousand. Today, we're at $12.80, so we've decreased that recently. The other one I looked at was our road use, which is calculated on a per capita, or it's paid on a per capita basis. And we had $317,000 then compared to the $14.2 million now. So it's an incredible amount of change. And I certainly appreciate the professionalism of Denman and their team when they are in here. They're awesome to work with. And I'd be remiss if I didn't recognize staff, because the last couple of years, staff has done pretty much the whole thing. I've kind of kept out of it to let them get their feet wet and do it for us. So we're in good hands when I leave. With that, I'd be recommend approval of the 25 independent audit report.
We are absolutely a much different city today than we were in 2001, not just from a population, but also a size and,
Yep.
and public infrastructure perspective. So yes, lots of change. With that, any questions? Please vote.
Councilmember Pierce,
Yes.
Councilmember Grove,
Yes.
Councilmember Lyon,
Yes.
Councilmember Crone,
Yes.
Councilmember Anderson.
Yes. All right. Item G1 is a public hearing on the annexation of consenting and non-consenting properties by the city of Waukee, Iowa for Hubble Realty Company, New Pioneer Gun Club, and Jerome Aldrich. I now declare, sorry, I'm on the wrong thing. I now declare this public hearing open. Becky, have we received any written correspondence?
No, none received in the city clerk's office.
Perfect. Andy?
Good evening, Mayor Clark and council members. Before you tonight is consideration of some annexation of some property. So this is property it's shown in the map on the left-hand side of the screen. You can see there's several parcels that are colored in. There's these orange parcels, one blue parcel, and then one kind of small green parcel. Voluntary annexation applications were submitted by the New Pioneer Gun Club and Hubble Realty Company. So the property identified in orange on the screen is that property that is owned by the New Pioneer Gun Club. It's approximately 90 acres in area. The area identified in blue is just over 10 acres in area that is owned by Hubble Realty Company. And then the area, the small little square that's green on the screen, that is the property that's owned by Jerome A. Aldrich, and that is just under 1 acre in area. In total, the acreage is 101.18 acres located south of Westtown Parkway and east of Southeast Ellie Grant Parkway. So just for some reference, the Glen Village neighborhood is located directly to the north of here. And then Timberline School directly to the to the east, as well as the Waukee Innovation and Learning Center located directly to the southeast, just to give you a bit of a point of reference here. So as I said, voluntary annexation applications were submitted by the New Pioneer Gun Club as well as Hubble Realty Company. And then staff did include, again, the small parcel owned by Jerome Aldrich as non-consenting on this or in conjunction with these annexation applications. An 80-20 annexation is permitted by Iowa Code Chapter 368.7. Which allows you to include up to 20% of the total voluntary acreage as non-consenting in order to prevent an island of unincorporated area, as well as to create more uniform boundaries. All this property, of course, adjoins existing city limits to the north as well as to the east. Public utilities are present in the area. There's water or public water main, there's public sewer, as well as available gas main. Was city gas main not that long ago, but not ours anymore. So, but nonetheless, still available. The subject property is included in the city's future land use map within Imagine Waukee 2040, primarily for single-family residential. Dallas County Auditor has reviewed the legal descriptions and they have verified them to be accurate. Notices have been mailed and published as required by Iowa Code Chapter 368 in compliance with those requirements. I would note that, as I stated, that staff had initially started this off as a voluntary or including consenting and non-consenting property. However, after discussions with the state's City Development Board, whom ultimately approves an annexation, the City Development Board staff raised some concerns about the inclusion of the non-consenting properties, the non-consenting property with this annexation due to kind of the way the state code is worded, as in to prevent an island of unincorporated area, as well as to create more uniform boundaries. The staff of the City Development Board didn't necessarily feel that this was kind of meeting those criteria because there was no island and they felt that it wasn't creating more uniform boundaries, at least at this point in time. As a result of that, that would cause kind of some timing delays. And in order to kind of keep the voluntary annexation applications moving, staff will be recommending with the resolution to remove the non-consenting property from the annexation applications and only proceed forward with the two voluntary annexation applications. Again, there's no risk of creating an island by leaving out the property, and we'll have to handle that at some other point in time in the future. So with that, I'm happy to take any questions, but staff recommends holding the public hearing.
Thank you. Does anyone here tonight, either in the council chambers or on Zoom, wish to address the council and voice their comments or questions for this particular public hearing item? If so, please approach the podium or raise your hand. If participating via Zoom, you can click on the raise hand icon in the reaction controls. Please speak into the microphone. Name and address as always.
Veronica Lack, and I'm still concerned about the methane pipeline that was installed before 2005 and its location. We've had 2 strikes on it, and we need to have it marked. The damage it does when a contractor hits it, it's
Veronica, that's not on this public hearing item. Thank you.
I do have a question for Andy.
Yep.
Is the involuntary portion of this the small green?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct. Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
Are there any other questions from council?
Just to be clear, they would not be precluded from if they chose to be
Correct.
annexed into Waukee. It's just at this time, we're not moving forward with a non-consenting.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I had tried to reach out to Mr. Aldrich a couple different times and never heard back from him.
Becky, are there any hands raised in Zoom?
No, there are not.
I now declare this public hearing closed. Agenda item G2 is a public hearing on an ordinance to amend Chapter 169 zoning ordinance, City of Waukee, Iowa, for rezoning certain property from A1 to C1, a parcel to be known as Orange Commercial Development. And now declare this public hearing open. Have we received any written correspondence on this?
No, none received in the city clerk's office.
Thank you. Andy?
All right. Well, good evening again. The owner in this request is Herd Land Company LLC, and the applicant is Orange Development LLC. The property is shown on the screen outlined in yellow. It's that green box. This is the existing zoning layer of the property. The property is 33.53 acres in area. It's located at the northeast corner of Northeast Alice's Road and East Hickman Road. So it's very near our very eastern corporate limit with the city of Clive. The city of Clive actually bounds it on the north side and a little bit on the east side. But then as you continue to go east, it gets outside the city limits. The applicant is requesting approval to rezone the property from A1 Agricultural District to C1, which is Community and Highway Service Commercial District. You can see there's the red colors here are C1. So there is some C1 zoning adjoining that. There's also commercial zoning adjoining it to the west and also to the southwest. The current use of the property is primarily for agricultural purposes. However, there are several existing buildings located in the northwest corner of the site. Right Tree Service has used this site for several years to store equipment and things like that. Notification to property owners within 250 feet of the subject property was mailed on January 2nd, 2026. If you've driven by this property recently, you've probably noticed there's a sign along Hickman Road as well as a sign along Northeast Alice's Road notifying passerbys of the public hearings. To date, staff has not received any correspondence either for or against this request. I did have one call from a gentleman regarding this request last week, but they indicated they weren't in favor of it, or excuse me, they indicated they were not opposed to it. They always kind of figured something was going to happen here, but it was just only a matter of time. So, but no formal correspondence. The Waukee Planning and Zoning Commission did review this request at their meeting on January 13th, 2026, and recommended approval of the request 6-0. I would also note that there was no public comment on this particular rezoning application at the Planning and Zoning Commission last week. A concept plan that's shown on the screen here. Again, this is roughly the same aerial image, but just with the concept plan overlaid on it. The concept plan identifies a potential retail grocer on the site. Again, that's kind of this larger building on the north side of the site, as well as their associated parking area. This building is shown to be approximately 177,300 square feet in area. And then in addition, there is a fuel station and convenience store shown in the southeast corner of the site. No site plan has been submitted for this site. No specific user has been identified for this site. Just want to make sure I note that. Any future user of this site, provided the rezoning moves forward and site plan and plating happens, would have to, of course, submit site plan and plating for formal review and approval by the Planning and Zoning Commission and the City Council. There are 2 additional outlots shown along Hickman Road that would be for additional commercial development. There's nothing shown on there, at least at this point in time. A 30-foot landscape buffer would be required. You can kind of see there's these, maybe this will show it a little bit better. There's a 30-foot landscape buffer shown along the north side of the site as well as the east side of the site to screen any future commercial uses from the adjoining residential to the north as well as to the east. Multiple access points are shown into the site. There is only one full access that would be permitted into the site, and that's at the existing traffic signal along Northeast Alice's Road. You can kind of see that traffic signal is called out here on the left-hand side of the screen. There is an existing access point in the southeast corner of the site that was constructed as part of the Westlight multifamily development that was completed a couple of years ago. That is a 3/4 access point, and what that means for our newer council members and anyone who's interested in this stuff is a 3/4 access point means basically you can turn right into the site and right out of the site, and you can turn left into the site, but you can't turn left out of the site. And then in addition, the other access points, with the exception of the full access point, which means you can go any direction into and out of the site, would be restricted to right in, right out, which again means you can only turn right out and turn right into the site. A traffic study was completed by HR Green with the initial prior to design of the future phases of Alice's Road. We just wrapped up our first phase of widening of Alice's Road with our joint project with the City of Clive. That traffic study that was conducted assessed future land uses as well as existing land uses to make sure that our design for those future phases of widening of Alice's Road can accommodate traffic and things like that. So no concerns regarding traffic with a proposed rezoning for commercial on this site. The Imagine Waukee 2040 comprehensive plan identifies this property future land use classification as mixed use corridor. Mixed use corridor is classified as a mixture of office, retail, or residential land uses in areas along key transportation corridors and between key nodes. The designation is further defined by buildings that are generally between 20,000 square feet and 100,000 square feet in area. This proposed project is, of course, located along Hickman Road, but it's also located along Northeast Alice's Road. So our 2 most important transportation corridors within our community that are able to handle the type of traffic for commercial development. Again, in general, as the comp plan states, the buildings are typically 20,000 to 100,000 square feet. But again, with the amount of traffic that Hickman Road and Northeast Alice's Road can handle, there's no concerns from staff as far as having a building larger than 100,000 square feet on this site if it were to move forward for a formal site plan review and approval as well as ultimate development. Staff is recommending holding the public hearing for Orange Commercial Development. There is project representation here tonight. There's a representative from the applicant as well as the property owner is here in attendance as well. I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you. Does the applicant or their representative wish to address the council at this time?
We presented it quite well. If you have any questions, I've got limited information. Orange is going to keep it inside, but
yeah,
as
okay.
usual.
All right.
Happy to answer the questions.
Perfect. Does anyone here tonight, either in the council chambers or on Zoom, wish to address the council and voice their comments or questions? If so, please approach the podium. Or if participating via Zoom, please click on the raise hand icon located in the reactions controls.
Veronica Lack, one of Dallas County Soil and Water Conservation Commissioners. That's the corner that we have been protesting on since the explosion. We need that methane pipeline marked, and hopefully the owners know more about that. It was a pipeline installed before 2005. Could Mr.
No, Veronica, there is no methane gas explosion that has
No,
gone
but
through
there's
this
a
property.
methane pipeline that's right through there. It was installed either by the Broin brothers before they became Poet, or
Veronica, any
the big oil
construction,
company that it goes
any
to in
construction
Eleanor.
will entail marking all lines through this
But they
area.
haven't marked them through my backyard, and that's why
Veronica, we're not talking about your backyard. Thank you.
I have a question.
Yes.
You mentioned, Andy, that Alice's Road would be widening.
Mhm.
Are we anticipating any extra turn lanes, and what are we anticipating along Hickman to handle the extra traffic?
As far as from a DOT perspective, there is an existing, so again, there's this existing access point in the southeast corner of the site. There is an additional access point, and these are predetermined access points by the Iowa Department of Transportation. So at the time of site plan review and approval, we would likely submit this to the DOT to see if there's any improvements along Hickman Road. Maybe it's a right-hand turn lane or something like that that might be required. But again, that's DOT jurisdiction.
And so you'll only be able to turn in right, and you'll only be able to turn right on the way out.
Correct.
We won't have any U-turns at that stop, or anybody trying to
It's always possible.
Yeah.
There still needs to be work.
I'm anticipating
Yeah,
what people might try.
well, and in terms of any improvements along Hickman, that is unfortunately 100% controlled by DOT. So, so we can always provide recommendations, but we cannot require them to make different choices. But yes, we can always provide recommendations. Any other questions?
There are no hands raised in Zoom.
Okay. All right. With that, I now declare this public hearing closed. Agenda item G3 is a public hearing on an ordinance to amend Chapter 169 zoning ordinance, City of Waukee, Iowa, by rezoning certain property from A1 to KRC, a parcel to be known as B. Crum Farms. I now declare this public hearing open. Becky, have we received any correspondence?
There's been none received in the city clerk's office.
Thank you. Melissa?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. The owner and applicant is B. Crum Farms LLC. This property is highlighted or outlined in yellow on the screen. It is located on the north side of Ashworth Road and east of Grand Prairie Parkway. So just a little bit north of I-80. You can kind of see it at the lower right-hand corner of the screen there. It is 4.20 acres in area. The property is located within the Kettlestone corridor. This request is to rezone the property. Right now it is A1 agricultural, and then they want to rezone it to K-RC Kettlestone Retail Community District for future commercial development. You can see on the screen that KRC is kind of in that pink area. So the property to the north and then also to the west surrounding that property is also zoned K-RC. So they're requesting that same zoning district. Notification of the rezoning request was sent out on January 2nd. The rezoning sign was placed on the property by the required deadline. Staff have not received any correspondence for or against this request. The property currently exists as 6 lots. Each of the lots previously contained a single-family home. The 6 houses were recently demolished, so they are no longer there, even though they're shown on this aerial imagery. And this one does not have a concept plan attached to it because the developer is planning on rezoning it and then selling it off. They don't have plans at this time. The KRC district permits typical commercial, retail, and office uses within the Kettlestone corridor. Because this is in the Kettlestone corridor, it's part of the Kettlestone master plan. This property is shown as retail community in that Kettlestone master plan.
and the proposed rezoning is consistent with the Kettlestone Master Plan. Last week, on January 13th, the Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval of the rezoning, and staff recommends holding the public hearing. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
All right, thank you. Does the applicant or the representative in the room tonight wish to address the council? Okay. Does anyone here tonight, either in the council chambers or on Zoom, wish to address the council and voice their comments or questions for this public hearing item? If so, please approach the podium. If participating via Zoom, please click on the raise hand icon located in the reactions controls.
There are no hands raised in Zoom.
Does council have any questions at this time? I now declare this public hearing closed. Agenda item G4 is a public hearing on an ordinance to amend Chapter 169 zoning ordinance City of Waukee, Iowa by rezoning certain property from C1A to C1, a parcel to be known as WCSD Admin Building Expansion. I now declare this public hearing open. Mike, have you received any correspondence on?
No, none received in the clerk's office.
Thank you. Melissa?
The owner and applicant is the Waukee Community School District. The property is located south of Southeast University Avenue and west of Grand Prairie Parkway. And it is outlined in yellow on the screen. It's just south of the Waukee High School, and Prairie View is actually directly north of that. So Prairie View School. It is 10.22 acres in area. The applicant is requesting to rezone the property from C-1A Neighborhood Commercial District to C-1 Community and Highway Service Commercial District for the expansion of the existing Waukee Community School District Administration Building. I go to the next slide because you might be able to see it better. So the existing admin building is just to the west of where they're proposing this rezoning. And in order to add on to it and make it consistent, they're rezoning it to the same zoning as what the current admin building is, which is C1. The property is currently vacant. Besides the regional stormwater detention pond, which you can see on the screen here, it's at the south side of the property. So the current zoning of the C1A district would allow for the proposed use, but because they are proposing the overall building to be greater than 50,000 square feet, the building would not fit in the requirements of the C1A zoning district. But also, like I explained, the existing admin building to the west is zoned C1 Community and Highway Service Commercial District. So it requires the subject property to be rezoned so that when they add on to the existing building, the entire building will be located within one zoning district. Notification was sent out by the required date. The rezoning signs were placed on the property by the required deadline. Staff have not received any correspondence for or against the request. Staff did take in one phone call from a neighboring resident just in relation to the existing pond. She had concerns about the pond going away, and in fact, it will remain. So the existing pond will remain because it provides stormwater detention for that surrounding neighborhood. And then the school district owns and maintains that pond. So the concept plan, I think I have one that zooms in a little bit. The concept plan provided shows a 44,300 square foot addition to the existing building. The addition is proposed to be 2 stories. The existing building is a single-story building and is just under 25,000 square feet in area. The concept plan also shows a new parking lot, and then access will be provided off of Southeast Parkview Crossing Drive. And then an access drive will also be provided between the existing parking lot and the proposed one. Pedestrian connections are shown throughout the site, and then also from the surrounding public sidewalks. This is part of the Kettlestone Master Plan. It shows the property as office. The proposed rezoning is consistent with that use as office. The Planning and Zoning Commission did recommend approval last week on January 13th of the rezoning, and staff recommends holding the public hearing. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Does anyone here tonight, either in the council chambers or on Zoom, wish to address the council and voice their comments or questions on this particular public hearing item? If so, please approach the podium. If participating via Zoom, please click on the raise hand icon located in the reactions controls.
Veronica Lack, as a Dallas County Soil and Water Conservation Commissioner, I still think we need to mark that methane pipeline. It has been hit twice, and we suffer the consequences with our sewers cracked and leaking. That's more expensive.
Veronica, we've talked about this multiple times. The sewers are not cracked and leaking. We televise them all the time,
Well, then
all the time.
How does the black sewage get into my sump pit? And
Those are
what is
also different sewage
wa-
lines.
the
Water
water
sewer and
test
sanitary
reports?
sewer are completely different lines.
the water?
Veronica, we can talk more after.
There are no hands raised in Zoom.
Council have any questions at this time? I now declare this public hearing closed. Agenda item G5 is a public hearing on an ordinance to amend Chapter 169 zoning ordinance City of Waukee, Iowa by rezoning certain property from R4/PD1 to R4/PD1, a parcel known as Vintage Estates of Waukee. I now declare this public hearing open. Becky, have you received any written correspondence?
No, none received in the clerk's office.
Thank you. Melissa.
The owner is MCB Holdings LLC. The applicant is David Ashoff. The property is located north of Southeast Esker Ridge Drive and west of Southeast Parkview Crossing Drive. It's just a little west. I think this next one might show it a little bit better. It's just a little west of Grand Prairie Parkway and northwest of the Keytown Loop development and just a little north of Ashworth Road. It contains 7.90 acres. The property is located within the Kettlestone corridor. The request is to rezone the property in order to amend the current plan development document to allow for individual lots for each of the proposed residential units in lieu of the cooperative development as was originally planned. Again, the zoning, it's kind of confusing. It's already zoned what they're requesting. It's just that we have to amend the plan development document, so it requires a rezoning process. Notification of the rezoning request was sent out on the January 2nd deadline. The rezoning signs are placed on the property by the required date. Staff have not received any correspondence for or against this request. We have taken a few phone calls from neighboring residents that were actually excited to see something going on with this property. No one was against it. And so the concept plan, let me go to that here. Kind of see it on there. So the concept plan that was provided, it includes 30 detached villa-style townhomes, a pool, and a gazebo. The original site plan that was approved in April of 2022 included 29 detached villa-style townhome units and one clubhouse with a pool, all on one lot. So the proposed concept plan here with this rezoning will get rid of the originally proposed clubhouse and instead will include one more detached unit. With the previously approved plans, all of the units and land were to be owned by a cooperative. And the proposed plan includes getting rid of the co-op and then replatting the property to provide individual lots for each of the units. Each lot will be individually owned. An outlot will be provided for the remaining property, and then the outlot will be owned and maintained by an HOA. Many of these units are already under construction. This was under the previously approved site plan. The new property owner plans to complete the units. The street within the development will remain private to be owned and maintained by the HOA. And then one access is already there off of Southeast Esker Ridge Drive. That will remain. And then the bulk requirements, landscaping requirements, and the architectural requirements will remain the same as what was previously approved. Planning and Zoning Commission did recommend approval last week on January 13th for this rezoning. Staff recommends holding the public hearing, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Does anyone here tonight, either in the council chambers or on Zoom, wish to address the council and voice their comments or questions at this time on this particular public hearing item? If so, please approach the podium or raise your hand, or if participating via Zoom, please click on the raise hand icon located in the reactions controls.
There are no hands raised in Zoom.
Does council have any questions at this time?
So the structures that are there now, they're going to continue building on those?
That is my understanding. I believe they had to have some certain inspections
Okay.
done on those to see what they can keep and what needs to go and what
Sure.
needs to be redone. But yes, they will plan, if they can use it, they will plan to continue building it.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, please vote. Or no, we're not voting. It's a public hearing. I was getting way ahead of myself. All right, I now declare this public hearing closed. Wishful thinking. All right. Item H1, consideration of approval of a resolution approving the annexation of property by the city of Waukee, Iowa. Can I get a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
Andy?
All right, I won't go through the whole thing again. Just want to remind the council that staff's recommendation in order to avoid further delay of the voluntary annexation applications to remove the non-consenting property owned by Jerome A. Aldrich and only move forward with the annexation of the voluntary properties owned by the New Pioneer Gun Club and Hubble Realty Company for a total acreage of 100.43 acres of consenting property. Staff recommends approval of the resolution of the annexation of the properties. I'm happy to take any other questions.
Thank you. Any questions?
Do we need to have a specific resolution?
Steve and I worked together to draft that. I think Steve was tired of talking to me last week, so.
It's fine.
Yep.
Okay.
And the city development board did review the resolution last Friday and said it looked good, so.
All right, please vote.
Councilmember Crone,
Yes.
Councilmember Grove,
Yes.
Councilmember Anderson,
Yes.
Councilmember Pierce,
Yes.
Councilmember Lyon,
Yes.
Agenda item H2, consideration of approval of an ordinance to amend chapter 169 zoning ordinance, city of Waukee, Iowa by rezoning certain property from A1 to C1, a parcel to be known as Orange Commercial Development. This is an introduction and a first reading. Can I get a motion?
I introduce the ordinance and move to approve the first reading in title only.
Second.
Andy?
Again, nothing too earth-shattering to add here, but other than staff recommends approval of the first consideration of the rezoning application from Herd Land Company as well as Orange Development LLC to rezone the subject property from A1 Agricultural District to C1 Community and Highway Service Commercial District for roughly over 33 and a half acres. Staff recommends approval based on its conformance with the Imagine Waukee 2040 comp plan.
Any questions? Please vote.
Councilmember Pierce,
Yes.
Councilmember Grove,
Yes.
Councilmember Lyon,
Yes.
Councilmember Crone,
Yes.
Councilmember Anderson,
Yes. Agenda item H3, consideration of approval of an ordinance to amend chapter 169 zoning ordinance, city of Waukee, Iowa by rezoning certain property from A1 to KRC, a parcel to be known as B. Crum Farms. This is an introduction and first reading.
Introduce the ordinance and move to approve the first reading in title only.
second.
Melissa?
I have nothing further to add. Staff recommends approval of the first consideration of the rezoning for B. Crum Farms. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions? Please vote.
Councilmember Crone,
Yes.
Councilmember Lyon,
Yes.
Councilmember Anderson,
Yes.
Councilmember Pierce,
Yes.
Councilmember Grove,
Yes.
Item H4, consideration of approval of an ordinance to amend chapter 169 zoning ordinance, city of Waukee, Iowa by rezoning certain property from C1A to C1, a parcel to be known as WCSD admin building expansion. This is also an introduction and a first reading.
I introduce the ordinance and move to approve the first reading in title only.
Second.
Melissa?
I have nothing further to add. I'm sorry, I should probably go to the right slide. Sorry, I have nothing further to add on this one either. Staff recommends approval of the first consideration of the rezoning for WCSD admin building expansion. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions?
It's really fun to work on it from both ends. 'Cause I've already approved this more than once on the other side, so that's really fun.
On the dark side.
You get to see it go.
On the dark side.
Please vote.
Councilmember Lyon,
Yes.
Councilmember Crone,
Yes.
Councilmember Grove,
Yes.
Councilmember Anderson,
Yes.
Councilmember Pierce,
Yes. Item H5, consideration of approval of an ordinance to amend Chapter 169 zoning ordinance, City of Waukee, Iowa, by rezoning certain property from R4/PD1 to R4/PD1 on a parcel known as Vintage Estates of Waukee. This is also an introduction and first reading.
Introduce the ordinance and move to approve the first reading and title only.
Melissa?
I have nothing further to add on this one either. Staff recommends approval of the first consideration of the rezoning for Vintage Estates of Waukee, and I would be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? Please vote.
Councilmember Grove,
Yes.
Councilmember Pierce,
Yes.
Councilmember Lyon,
Yes.
Councilmember Crone,
Yes.
Councilmember Anderson,
Yes. I'm sure well, I'm not sure, but I think I probably speak for council and staff as well in saying we echo the neighborhood sentiments. We're excited to see something happen there as well. All right. Item I1, consent agenda. Can I get a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion?
Just dawned on me, we don't have to split this up anymore.
I know. All right, please vote.
Councilmember Crone,
Yes.
Councilmember Lyon,
Yes.
Councilmember Pierce,
Yes.
Councilmember Anderson,
Yes.
Councilmember Grove,
Yes.
All right, item I2, consideration of approval of a resolution approving mayor's appointment or reappointment of citizen members to the various city boards and commissions. I would like to appoint Patrick Norton to the Board of Adjustments, Phil Gennari and Amy Spores to the Board of Appeals, Bruce Huckfelt, Jamie Cornish, and Freddie Segura to Park Board, Luke Street to Planning and Zoning Commission, and Kenny Thorson and Amy Schroet to Public Art Advisory Commission. Can I get a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Please vote.
Councilmember Crone,
Yes.
Councilmember Grove,
Yes.
Councilmember Pierce,
Yes.
Councilmember Anderson,
Yes.
Councilmember Lyon,
Yes.
Item I3, consideration of approval of an ordinance to adopt and establish Chapter 29 Waukee Civil Rights Commission. This is a third and final reading.
Move to approve the third reading of the ordinance in title only and place it on final passage.
Second. Nick?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This third reading before you today would establish a 5-member non-judicial Civil Rights Commission. And it would bring the city in compliance with state statute. Happy to answer any questions if you have them.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Please vote.
Councilmember Crone,
Yes.
Councilmember Pierce,
Yes.
Councilmember Grove,
Yes.
Councilmember Anderson,
Yes.
Councilmember Lyon,
Yes.
Item I4, consideration of approval of an ordinance to amend Chapter 70 Traffic Code Enforcement Procedures by amending Section 70.03 Parking Violations Alternate to amend fees. This is the third and final reading as well.
Move to approve the third reading of the ordinance in title only and place it on final passage.
Second.
Chief.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. As a reminder, and for the new council members, the first part of this ordinance, our current city code is in conflict with state code with regards to disabled parking spots. State code requires a $200 fine for a violation of that ordinance or that code. Our city ordinance still has $100 listed. So the first portion of this gets that in line with the state code where it needs to be. The second piece of this increases the parking citation fines a little bit, but it also aligns those across the board. In the past, we had a different parking citation fine for snow tickets versus other parking tickets, which was a little bit challenging. And then the other component of this is that we are now being charged a fee when somebody doesn't pay their ticket and we put a hold on their registration. The city is now having to expense funds to get that off of the hold off of there that we did not have to do before. And so this gives us that additional revenue to cover those expenses that we have to expense out of the budget. So happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Thank you. Are there any questions? With that, please vote.
Councilmember Grove,
Yes.
Councilmember Crone,
Yes.
Councilmember Lyon,
Yes.
Councilmember Pierce,
Yes.
Councilmember Anderson,
Yes. Item I5, consideration of approval of a resolution approving final plat for Kettlestone Lakes Plat 1. Can I get a motion? Move to approve.
Second.
Melissa?
The owner is Kettlestone Lakes LLC. The applicant is Landmark Companies, Inc. This property is located south of Ashworth Road and west of Grand Prairie Parkway, just north of the interstate. It contains 14.4 acres in area. It's outlined in blue on the screen with kind of the pink looking outlots. This property is zone K-RR Kettlestone Retail Regional District. The final plat includes 7 outlots for future commercial development. The outlots range in size from 1.15 acres to 1.85 acres in area. Extensions to Southeast Kettlestone Boulevard and Southeast Parkview Crossing Drive are included with this plat. The intersection of the 2 streets will be a roundabout. 10-foot wide trails will be constructed on one side of each of the public streets. Public utilities will service the proposed development. Stormwater detention is provided within a regional detention pond for the overall development. It's kind of located to the, can't really see it here, but kind of the southwest of what's shown on the screen. Staff recommends approval of the final plat, and I would be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Are there any questions?
I know that there were some concerns raised by neighbors when we rezoned this property. Have those been resolved or in the works of being resolved between the parties? Do we know?
I think that is as it pertains to the property further to the west, which is a
Yeah.
part of this.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that they've come to resolution yet.
Still working on it. Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
All right, please vote. Councilmember Pierce,
Yes.
Councilmember Crone,
Yes.
Councilmember Lyon,
Yes.
Councilmember Anderson,
Yes.
Councilmember Grove.
Yes.
Item I6, consideration of approval of a resolution approving final plat for Painted Woods West Plat 6. Can I get a motion?
Move to approve. Second.
The owner and applicant is JJR Holdings LLC. This property is located north of Interstate 80 and west of 6th Street within the Painted Woods West development. It contains 21.42 acres. The property is zoned R2, 1 and 2 family residential district with a planned development overlay, and R2, 1 and 2 family residential district. It's the area outlined in red on the screen. This final plat includes 57 lots for single-family residential development. 40 lots are zoned R2 and 17 lots are zoned R2 PD1. The R2 lots range in size from just over 8,000 square feet in area to a little over 19,000 square feet in area. And then the planned development lots range in size from 6,000 square feet to just under 11,000 square feet. All proposed lots meet or exceed the minimum requirements of the R2 and the R2 PD1 zoning districts. Extensions of existing public streets are included with this plat, as well as new public streets. An 8-foot wide trail will be installed along the east side of Paradise Lane. It's kind of the main north-south street right here, going through that plat. 5-foot wide sidewalks will be provided along all other sides of all streets with individual lot development. Public utilities will be provided for all the lots. Stormwater detention will be provided in a large detention basin, which is located within outlot Y, kind of at the northeast corner here, shown in kind of blue. That will be owned and maintained by the homeowners association. And then parkland dedication will be provided with the dedication of outlot Z to the city of Waukee. That's in the very northeast corner, just north of that detention basin. That outlot is 1.49 acres in area. It'll kind of back up to this greenway that's shown a little bit here further to the north. So eventually we'll be able to do something with that in the future. Staff recommends approval of the final plat, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Please vote. Councilmember Crone,
Yes.
Councilmember Lyon,
Yes.
Councilmember Pierce,
Yes.
Councilmember Grove,
Yes.
Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
All right, agenda item J, reports. Brad?
Thank you, Mayor. Last week, the state legislature came back into session, and so we are actively reviewing and assessing various bills that are coming forward. And if you haven't checked your email today, I sent a litany of a few here today. So take a look at those and let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.
Steve?
No report.
Kayla? No report.
No report.
No report.
Okay. All right, with that, I will take a motion to adjourn.
So moved?
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.